What's up, witches? I'm Allie, aka BronxWitch, and welcome back to my channel, where you are the magic, and where I talk about Wicca the religion, witchcraft the practice, and tarot. And in this flip through and review video, I am showing you guys the Witches Alphabet Oracle cards created by Michael Richmond for the Shining Moon Studio. Mike has a number of really cool original designs, including the Theban Oracle dice and the hand-printed tarot, which is a deck made completely from carved stamps, handmade by Mike. This newest creation of his is a different type of oracle deck that is designed primarily to teach you the Theban alphabet. If you're not familiar with it, the Theban alphabet, also known as the Witches Alphabet, is a writing system that is popular among Wiccan witches. Its history is a bit unclear, of course, but it was first published in a book by Johannes Trithemius in 1518, and it basically lines up with the Latin alphabet. If you want to write your magical writings in a secret language that only some people can read, the Witches Alphabet is a great option. Personally, I would like to see it used more, and I want to use it more. So when I saw this deck, I thought this would be a great way to learn it. So let's get into it. So as for packaging, the deck is really small because it's only the 27 or so cards of the alphabet plus a few more, so it doesn't need a box. Instead, it comes in this little suede, or maybe velvet, but I think suede, drawstring bag. It is printed with Shining Moon Studio, which is Alphabet Oracle cards by Michael Richmond, and it's a pretty good quality bag, so I do believe it is intended to be the forever home of your cards. The cards themselves are very simple. They are all printed in just black and white with simple line drawings, and personally I really like that because this deck is actually designed to kind of function as like flashcards to help you learn the lettering of the alphabet. So personally, when it comes to like flashcards, something I'm actually trying to study, if they were colorful or had a bunch of pictures or complicated designs, I think that would be distracting and a little hard for learning. So if you are looking for something that's more visually exciting and you want to maybe use this deck just as an oracle deck, that is something to keep in mind. But if you are intending to use it as a flashcard to actually learn the alphabet letters, then I think the simple black and white straightforward design is going to help you there. The deck starts off with a card that explains more about the Theban alphabet, more about the deck, as well as some recommendations for how to use the deck to actually give yourself oracle readings, which is probably going to be really helpful for all of us. And because, like I said, this deck is designed to be an oracle deck, Michael Richmond has included two cards that give you just a short breakdown of each of the cards. It tells you what the image on the card is, as well as a few keywords or phrases to help you associate that image with a message that you can then use for oracle divination. So the way each card is set up, in the top left we have the letter in English, then in the right we have the letter in Theban, then in the center there's an image that corresponds with the letter, and at the bottom we have the image actually spelled out in Theban. So this first letter is A, and this is the Theban way of drawing the letter A, and the image that's been chosen is the athame. Looks quite a bit like mine, which is over there. An athame is a popular Wiccan tool. It's a ceremonial knife that's used to direct energy primarily. It's often kept on your working altar or any other altar for that matter. And in this deck, Michael Richmond has included it to represent the element of fire, as well as to represent masculine energy, the sun, and the horned god. And so those are some of the keywords and phrases that he's included in his description of this card. If you were also going to use this card, not just to learn the letter, but to also use it to give yourself an oracle message. So I'm going to flip through all of the cards for you. So we have the athame for the letter A, A besom for the letter B. A cauldron for the letter C. Death for the letter D. An I for the letter E. A feather for the letter F. A ghost for the letter G, which is super cute. A hat for the letter H. We have this letter here, I, for incense, and it's going to be the same as the letter J. The Theban alphabet is similar to the Latin alphabet, where the letter for the letters I and J, or the symbol rather for the letters I and J, are the same. So they're the same here. For I, we have incense, and for the letter J, we have a jar. For the letter K, we have a key. For the letter L, we have a lantern. For the letter M, we have the moon. For the letter N, we have nails. For the letter O, we have an owl, another really cute one. For the letter P, we have a pumpkin. For the letter Q, we have a piece of quartz. For the letter R, we have a ring. Kind of looks like my ring. For the letter S, we have a snake. For the letter T, we have a cup of tea. For the letter U, we have an umbrella. For V, we have vampire. This is giving me Rocky Horror vibes. For the letter W, we have a web. For the letter X, we have an X-ray. For the letter Y, we have a Yule log. And for the letter Z, we have a zap. And then we have the symbol here for period. So kind of complicated symbol, but that is the Theban period that you would put to indicate the end of a sentence. And then we have the end spelled out down here. You can actually use this card as an oracle card as well. It represents basically the end, the culmination, the finalization of something. And then we have the U card. And this is designed to basically represent you, or the person who is asking the question of the cards. And this allows you to work with spreads so that you can actually read for yourself. Okay, and now the moment we've all been waiting for, the first shuffle. Very nice. Like I said, it's a very tiny deck because we've only got the 27 cards of the alphabet, so not a lot of action. This is just a few cards. But they are a very nice quality, not very thick, which you guys know I like. They are on the softer side, so they're pretty easy to shuffle right away. They feel really comfortable in my teeny tiny hands. I love this size. Look at that. I can palm the whole deck. That's what I'm talking about. And one thing I will say that I like about them is even though they have a glossy finish, they're not super slippery. Sometimes glossy cards are so slippery when you first get them that shuffling them is really difficult. But even though these are glossy, they're not super slippery, and I can shuffle them pretty easily. I like that. So if you go to shiningmoonstudio.com, Michael Richmond explains a few different spread ideas that you can use. You can also look at the little card that comes in the beginning of the deck. There are some ideas on there as well. But I'm going to show you two of the spreads that I've already sort of identified that I kind of like. So the first one involves shuffling the deck, thinking of your question of what you need guidance on, and then going through the deck and looking for the U card. So I'm just flipping through and looking for that U card, okay? So now that I found the U card, what I want to do is I want to take the card right behind it and the card right in front of it, and I want to read this message. So this is one pretty straightforward way, I think, of using these cards as oracle cards. Shuffle the cards thinking of your question, and then flip through the deck looking for the U card, and then take the card right before and right after and read these together. And the last spread that I want to show you guys is another pretty straightforward one. It just involves finding the U card and taking it out of the deck first, and then shuffling on your question. And then laying out 8 cards in 3 rows of 3 around the U card. And then you can read these cards in a number of ways. One way is to read the cards that come before the U card as the past, and the cards that come after as the future. Some folks read the top row of cards as the past and the bottom row of cards as the future. That's something that you can play with and explore yourself, but this setup allows you to pretty easily have a really thorough reading around yourself as the main focus. So witches, all in all, I think the Witch's Alphabet Oracle deck is a fun way to learn the Witch's Alphabet, as well as a simple way to give yourself an oracle reading. I pray you found this video helpful, or that you just liked it. If you did, make sure to click the thumbs up. You can leave any comments or questions down below. And of course, subscribe. Click the bell button so you know when the next video comes out. Memberships are available now, and more info is in the description box. And if you have any questions, just go to BronxWitch.com. And I will see you in the next video. Blessed be.